Welcome to Still Surviving and Walking in Your Purpose. I'm your host, Gigi Blackshear. To conquer means to overcome, to subdue, to win. Our guest is not only a conqueror, she is a beautiful spirit and has a powerful anointing on her life. Please welcome to our show, Tina Robinson. Tina, welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you on our show.
Thank you.
So please tell our audience, who is Tina Robinson?
Who is Tina Robinson? To others, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, a grandmother, and a friend. But to me, to myself, I am a conqueror. You know, and I thank God He gave me the strength to overcome all the things that had me in bondage and in fear.
When you talk about being a conqueror, explain what that means.
That means overcoming the things that have you bound, you know, the things that have you chained to your past. And some of my biggest fears was the fear of being alone. You know, I had that fear of being alone and being myself, you know, and knowing what I could do on my own.
Okay.
And as time passed, you know, like I said, God gave me the strength to overcome that.
So how did you discover that? How did you discover the strength to overcome?
I made a choice, you know. I knew it was something better out there for me. And I knew I could do what I wanted to do. It's just I had to get over that fear, you know, and take a chance and step out on faith to see that I could.
Share with us your survival story.
Well, first of all, I was a victim of child molestation. You know, at the age of 6, you know, I was molested by someone very close to the family. He was my mother's boyfriend, actually. And after that, and this was a person that I always looked up to. I always loved and, you know, respected, you know, because he was the only father figure I had. And he was somebody that even though I saw him abuse my mom, I still loved him.
Right.
Because, again, he was that father that, like I said, I never had.
Right.
You know, and when he did this to me, that pretty much changed me as far as,
Take your time, it's okay.
Yeah, when he did that to me, that, you know, that even though I loved him, like I said, I looked at him differently because I was just a little girl, you know, and all I knew, I was just thinking of a 6-year-old, and then I started to wonder, is this something that happens to all 6-year-olds? And
all children know to do is love.
That's it.
You know, until they're taught something else. They don't know anything else. So I can understand that confusion, like you said, for somebody that you know, that was close to you, to go from that person being a protector to being an abuser. At 6 years old, it had to be hard. It had to be hard to deal with.
And watching my mom, you know, walk around as though everything was okay, that's where I learned to put on a mask and act like everything is okay, you know. You know, and then after that, you know, later moving out the household, you know, my grandmother getting custody of me, you know, I was with her, but even with her, you know, there was abuse there, but it was just her, you know, alcoholism. Yeah. But back in the day, you just called, you know, you would just say grandma loved to drink.
That's just what they do.
Yeah. But it was later on I realized that was alcoholism, you know, and living with her, you know, I thought that I would be over the pain because now I'm stepping into my teen years, and I thought that I would be over the pain. But even though I was smiling, you know, because that was the mask I put on at the age of 6, you know. My mother pretty much passed her mask down to me.
Taught you how to pretend that everything was okay.
Yes, that was it. And, you know, even though I was outgoing and everything, I was still seeing that 6-year-old when I look in the mirror, you know.
Those scars. Yeah. So tell us, what was the thing that helped you to move beyond that?
what helped me move beyond that, with everything that had going on in life, I realized I had to forgive him. Forgiveness. That was the key. You know, you have to forgive in order to move on. You know, because as long as you hold the bitterness inside, the hatred and the, you know, the bad memories, it's as though you're chained to your past. You know, so forgiveness was the key for me. You know, and once I forgave, those chains was broken.
Powerful forgiveness.
You know, yes.
Yeah, forgiveness is a powerful, powerful tool. And especially when you go from one cycle of abuse to another, there has to be something, there has to be an anchor somewhere. And it sounds like for you, forgiveness was that anchor.
That was it.
And even the situation with your grandmother, even though going with her, there was still some abuse, it wasn't as bad as it was. It was what you were coming from. So you were able to move maybe away from it to get to a place of safety in order that you could kind of get better. Things would get better for you. Things would get better for you. You know, as difficult as your story was, the fact that you were able to forgive that person is a true testament to who you are and what God put on the inside of you, that ability to forgive. So we thank God that you had that.
Yes.
Because that cycle of abuse, had you not, that cycle of abuse could have continued. You could have passed that on to your children. So we thank God for that. So tell us, after coming through that and surviving and getting to that place where you were able to move away from it, what is the next thing for you?
Well, what I'm currently doing now is walking in my purpose. Everything that I went through, you know, everything that I went through, I chose to become that person, what I needed to see when I was going through. You know, a dear friend of mine, we've started this empowerment group called A Date with Our Daughters. You know, and what we do, we get mothers and daughters together, you know, and we do, you know, a date night, whether it's at a restaurant or a beach or something, and we just get together, you know, just trying to build that relationship between mothers and daughters, and we talk, you know, we tell our testimonies of what, you know, God brought us through, and we open the door for our daughters to speak, you know, just to get communication back to, you know, communication back on the table so they can see that even though we're mothers, they can know our stories as far as the mistakes we made or what we all had to go through, you know, so like I said, so it can open the door for them to speak if they need to, you know, if there's something in them that they need to get out and speak about.
Oh, that is awesome. That is so awesome. And then sharing with young people, trying to help them to understand at a young age and sharing with them some of your experiences, because it helps them to know that some of the things that they're going through, that there's nothing new. You know, that you've actually had some of the same experiences. We're going to come back with Tina in just a moment to find out what's next.
You've been hearing a lot about Everest lately, but you probably haven't heard this. We're now not-for-profit, which means we're driven by a different set of numbers. We're driven by the number of skills learned, the number of resumes written, spell-checked, and sent, the number of interviews, of doors opened, and happy phone calls received, and the number of places you can go from here. At Everest, our priority is making sure our graduates leave with the skills and confidence they need to launch their careers. Begin your future at everest.edu.
Imagine your child was sleeping on the floor and your family was in disarray. Hi, I'm Lisa Shanks with Sisterly Acts Incorporated. We build bridges beyond barriers to give your family food, shelter, clothing, the things that they need to overcome obstacles. You can reach us at www.sisterlyactsinc.com or 904-999-2368.
We are back with Tina Robinson. Tina, you shared with us your work with mothers and daughters. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Yes, it is. I recently published a book titled, Now I Know Who I Am Free. This book tells the life of a woman who grew up in an abusive household, who was a victim of child molestation, who later grew up to be in an abusive relationship herself. You know, this is the life of a woman who was on the abortion table 3 times, who was married and divorced, who had to watch her daughter live a lifestyle that she didn't agree with and still trust and believe that God would deliver her. It's the life of a woman who had to, face different loved ones, as they take their last breath. It's the life of a woman who grew up not having a clue of who her father was, and it was written just to show other women that they're not alone, and that, there's other people out there going through what they're going through,
Right.
as you said earlier.
Yeah. There's a scripture that says all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And it says all things. It doesn't say all good things, but all things. That means the good, the bad, or the ugly. All of those things work together for our good. And when you get to the place where you can share those things, those hurtful things, those painful things, those things that have happened in your life, when you get to the place where you can share them to be a blessing to somebody else, that's when you know that healing has taken place. That's when you know that true deliverance has come, because somebody else is out there going through the exact same things that you may have experienced. They don't know that they can survive. They don't know that they're going to come through on the other side and be better for it. So the fact that you're able to take the things that you've experienced and put them down on paper and be able to share those things for someone else, it's a blessing that you're willing to share in order to help somebody else. Just the example that you're set of moving forward with your life and then being able to do things that can help someone else is truly a blessing. Can you tell us where we can get your book?
You can order it off Amazon.com, or you can go to my email address at tesmiles1@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And you can go there and purchase it or order.
All righty. Tina, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It has been such a blessing. I know that it is going to help someone. It's going to encourage someone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Mia Wilson with some additional resources.
The vision of LOL Jax is to create a platform for our local filmmakers, actors and actresses, and stand-up comedians to showcase their short films and talent. The genre comedy was actually chosen because with all the negativity and everything in the world going on, we wanted to give the audience a chance to laugh, have a good time, and just escape from reality. And we're so excited for LOL Jax.
So we chose the name LOL Jax because the LOL stands for Love Our Locals While Laughing Out Loud. And the whole purpose is to involve the people in the community of Jacksonville as a way of honoring and celebrating our hometown. We just really want to do our part by keeping Jacksonville on the map in the film community.
What is going on, champions? I am Brandon Sugar, the owner and founder of Sugar Unlimited. And at Sugar Unlimited, we use our graphic design expertise to help build your brand and digital presence. I served in the United States Army for 6 years and deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. And so we look forward to giving you direction through connection. If this is you, kindly contact us at 931-220-5685 or kindly log on to brandonsugar.com.
Welcome back to Still Surviving and Walking in Your Purpose. We are here with Dr. Mia Wilson. Dr. Wilson, welcome back to our show. After listening to Tina's story, what kind of resources could you provide for us, for someone that may be dealing with an abusive situation? We know that from Tina's story, her abuse started as a child, as a young child. Are there some resources that you can provide that might help someone that may be going through something like that?
Yes, thank you, Gigi. There's several resources we have in our city. We have the women's group. Sometimes, even if you have abuse as a child, a lot of times we keep it a secret,
Right.
and that secret just continues to keep growing, and sometimes it becomes a family secret, and it continues, we carry that throughout the years, and it starts affecting us even in adulthood.
As adults, right.
And so we have like the Women's Center that you can, that holds different types of support group, getting involved in an empowerment group for women. We have a lot. There's several that are on the meetup groups. some that are in churches and ministries, conferences. Also, getting involved in counseling, going to counseling, even if that, because we're talking about trauma,
Right.
even if we witnessed it, and sometimes we don't normalize it because we're so enmeshed in it.
Right, that's what we know.
Right.
It gets to be.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so we develop these survival skills, and then they end up just kind of manifesting in our adulthood, and we don't know why things are happening the way they are. Just we
Right.
keep getting into dysfunctional situations.
Let me ask you a question. For a child that is being abused, do you think that at times there are other people outside the home that may be able to intervene? Because when you think about a child, if the person that's responsible for loving them and caring for them and taking care of them, if that person is the abuser, what is a child to do? I mean, can neighbors or friends?
Well, this is where it comes to that it takes a village to raise a child. And so you have teachers, you have coaches, you have other family members. If they see something that's not right, something that's not going on, a lot of times you have mandated reporters, you have that need to contact Department of Children and Family, and it's mostly about safety, providing safety for that child, and making sure they're getting away from that abusive situation.
Okay. So is there some websites or any kind of numbers that you could give, like telephone numbers that people can call, or just website address?
Now, we have a 24-hour hotline that's called 211, which is an informational hotline that you can contact, and they'll give you all kind of resources that's in the city that you can get plugged into.
Okay, 211, just like 911.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Wilson, thank you so much for sharing that information with us. We know that abuse is a very, very serious and painful thing. So if you or anyone that you know, as Dr. Wilson said, if you see something, say something, so that we can stop this cycle of abuse. Thank you for watching Still Surviving and Walking in Your Purpose.